Newcastle busy. City set to be busy as well. One team that it was a terrible weekend. But what about the end to the window for Aston Villa? Unai Emery does have a skill. Doesn't seem almost how many go out, how many come in. He makes it work eventually. And people forget Villa didn't have the best of starts last time, but they clicked into gear quickly. Emery's used to this type of model. And one forward wants out, another forward wants out, but he might want in to Aston Villa. Because we got this morning, didn't we? Just before 11 o'clock from David Ornstein. Aston Villa make a bid to Crystal Palace for Jean Philippe Mateta. It lands far below what Palace would seek for the 29-year-old, but Villa interest is ongoing alongside indicative offer to AC Milan for Rafael Leao. It relates to the Ollie Watkins situation. Now, in a bizarre turn of events, of course, Mateta took Crystal Palace. Steve Parish didn't need to FIFA, trying to argue the last year of his contract was invalid based on the whole bit around the injury, Palace not telling him the truth, etc. But he failed in that action, didn't he? And more has come out there. It still feels like these three are interconnected. Even as the Athletic said, Villa have been in the market for attacking reinforcements with Ollie Watkins, who we'll talk about future of the club, unclear. Tammy Abraham and Brian Maggio sidelined with injury as well. Another forward, Chelsea's Nicolas Jackson, we'll be talking about him. It's weird, isn't it, how things can change or maybe be over-dramatised in football. Villa, everyone was impressed with them in the Super Cup, weren't they? They had a really good game against PSG. You looked at the youngsters like Hemmings, like Maggio, and you were well impressed and thought they could really do a job in the Premier League. And yet, 4-0 defeat. The knives are out. People are writing them off. One thing I'm not going to do with the Unai Emery side is write them off this early at all. Yeah, I think people are going a bit hyperbolic, and it was embarrassing. It was an awful first half, wasn't it? You saw the Villa fans' reactions, but they're making moves. And as much as people were making fun of it, I can't respect Unai Emery for his whole thing on Ollie Watkins with the silence. That was just funny, wasn't it? Let's be honest, and not responding to it. Now, there's a couple of updated reports. Villa fans, you will know Jacob Tanswell, the Athletic correspondent for you guys. Now, he said Ollie Watkins returned to training. This was yesterday, and apologised to his teammates on Monday after missing the match. I mean, another player potentially we're talking about on strike there in Ollie Watkins, and you'll have seen, Villa fans, him and his missus getting absolutely peppered on social media, weren't they, for it? Maybe Villa are going to move on quickly, though. Maybe Unai Emery wants to move on quickly. You could tell he wasn't happy with him after the game. Al Hilal might still be there. And in fact, again, I've not seen an Ornstein, I've not seen a Romano, anything like that post it yet. But literally, Sasha Taglieri an hour ago tweeted that Al Hilal and Aston Villa have reached an agreement for Ollie Watkins. Villa are waiting to find his replacement for accepting the proposal. That has now been done. The Englishman will travel to Riyadh in the coming days and will earn $50 million per year. Dollar bucks, eh? That's Shane O'Mac, wasn't it? From WWE. Here comes the man. Anyway, so yeah, he's going to get highly paid, it looks like. But Villa ain't stopping there. We've seen the links with Mateta. Would they make another move there? We've seen Rafa Leao trying to get that on a reduced fee as well. Also, you have Fabrizio Romano saying, how long ago was this? Feels like a lot still breaking today. 50 minutes ago. Nicolas Jackson remains Villa's priority target, as reported last week, as club-to-club talks are started. Jackson's open to Villa after also Atletico Madrid made contact. Nothing will happen for Mateta and Villa until they've chances to get Jackson. So there seems a clear pecking order for Villa fans, doesn't it? Jackson, as Ureo, you saying there, is the replacement quite clearly. If that fails for any reason, and it looks a hefty price tag, doesn't it, for Nicolas Jackson, despite his talent, maybe Mateta, the cheaper option, comes there. Rafa Leao as well. So there's a full shake of the Villa attacking area. Now, Esri Konsa's gone as well. We know he is now an Arsenal player, but they're looking to get that replacement done, aren't they? We're expecting this to be announced soon, as Jacob Tanz will also report on the deal sheet, progressing that deal to sign defender Joel Ordonez from Club Brugge, the young Ecuadorian centre-back. Maybe it's a finance one, Villa fans, as you know, but to help, the proposed deal is for an initial loan with an obligation for the Premier League to make the move Kernan for a fee in the region of 30 million euros. That's a lot less than they sold, or got for, I should say, Esri Konsa. Sevilla being quite thrifty again. Good word, that for a Tuesday, isn't it? But also, this player, Roy Keane's son-in-law. Villa also have pursued Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Sounds like a furniture store, I reckon. Seeing 2 offers rejected for the defender. Southampton have made it clear the valuation for the 24-year-old, and Villa are currently unwilling to meet it. So we're unsure. Is it just Ordonez and then maybe just Harwood-Bellis, or is it both to replace Konsa? Both a lot younger, and especially with Ordonez, he's been looked at by Newcastle, linked with Liverpool multiple times in the past. It will be fascinating to see how they get on. But Villa, you are going to be seriously busy before the end of the window, either way. Now, Arsenal, the champions, most people's favourites, they put Coventry to the sword, it felt like, quite easily, and maybe you can get carried away, but there's no doubt they are favourites. They've got Bruno Guimaraes, that midfielder, injured for the first game. They've got Esri Konsa in now, cover for the other 86,000 defenders that they've got. It's all about the forward line, isn't it? They've been linked with so many. Doesn't look like they're going to get Barcola. We'll talk about him shortly. They've got Solis in. Ian Wright went on a bit of a diatribe about, a respectful way of doing it, but such is the nature of football. Fabrizio Romano had this in the last few hours. Al Hilal remain in advanced talks with Gabriel Martinelli with hope of a breakthrough soon. But he's not travelling to Riyadh today. Reports of him flying to Saudi are false, according to club sources, but negotiations continue with the players' camp. Al Hilal are confident. Sure they are, because it's basically, will you take the truckload of money? Simple as that. Didn't want to go to Galatasaray, didn't they? It looked like they were trying to use him in that deal for Victor Osimhen, but that fell through. It feels like it's this. It's up the red 77 or 977 says there. If they can get the Alvarez deal done, it's over. The rest of the Premier League is keeping an eye on that. Now, there's been a bit of mixed reporting around this, because this was from Spanish sources and Adam Crofton in The Athletic. When was this? Yesterday. A source close to Atletico Madrid leadership told The Athletic the only way they saw Julian Alvarez leaving this summer would be Arsenal made €150 million offer, which would beat the Alexander Isak fee for Liverpool, wouldn't it? That's yet to arrive, and the source viewed it as unlikely the Premier League champions would put forward that kind of money. It's quite clear Julian Alvarez still wants to move to Atletico Madrid. It is quite clear Atletico Madrid, you've heard the president, you've heard Simeone, they are not budging on that. There's been talks, summits, strikes, all sorts of things suggested. I suppose the big thing will be, Berta using the Atletico Madrid connections. Will Arsenal put big money on the table for Julian Alvarez? The rest of the Premier League, probably hoping not, in all honesty. Because if you think of, people have got mixed views on Victor Gyökeres, but you look at his record last year, and it was respectable, more than respectable, it's fair to say. Arsenal got Julian Alvarez. I think there might be, most people think Arsenal got it sewn up already. If he comes in, we'll have to see, won't we? Now, not the only teams to talk about. Some of the big boys. One's got a move done. One's, it's been dragging for 86,000 years, certain ones. And you probably know which one I'm talking about as I say that. We're talking Bradley Barcola and Carlos Baleba. Now, United fans, it wasn't a good weekend for you, but It's a happy day, surely. Carlos Baleba, Manchester United, as it says on the screen there, it's official. The former Brighton man has joined. As he said, I'm a Baleba, I'm a Red. Jason Wilcox saying he's an elite, talented footballer. I mean, United looked weak at set pieces, didn't they, against Hull specifically? Not sure Baleba will do that too much or give you much grace there, but he is a talented player. He is a left-footed, a defensive midfielder. Could be exactly what United are going for. That midfield's had a full revamp for United, hasn't it? Carlos Baleba, Andre Santos, Yuri Tielemans as well. A full change in that central area, which makes you wonder on Kobe Mainu, but hey, we'll see. In that regard, though, it's a bit of a gamble because it wasn't the best of season for Baleba last year, was it? Which saw a significant tank in his value. If we'd repeated his first year antics, you'd be talking £100 million plus, and they wouldn't have got him. But they have. United will just be hoping he gets back to anything like the level he's been in recent times. So we'll see on that. And we mentioned this one as well. Dear Lord, there's something with a week left to go. It feels like the Bradley Barcola saga. Arsenal have been linked at one point, but with Liverpool, it's been rumbling on for 86,426 years to be exactly precise. Now, within the last hour, we've had another update. There's kind of not an update or anything official, but is an update. And if you're thinking, what the hell are you talking about? David Ornstein put this. Liverpool are holding key talks with PSG today in a bid to bring clarity on proposed Bradley Barcola transfer. Important meeting to establish direction of travel on the potential move, with the 23-year-old PSG winger committed to joining Liverpool. Now, we've heard that last line before. We've heard it most of the summer, it's fair to say. We're all waiting for this one, and it does sound like Liverpool officials will meet with PSG officials. You even had Luis Campos, didn't you, on French television saying at the weekend that the window is not done for us, both in terms of departures and arrivals. And of course, he's been questioned repeatedly about Bradley Barcola, Ibrahim Mbaye, who've been left out the last two squads as well. Liverpool fans, I know you're a bit tired of this one. You want it done. Spoiler alert, though, clubs. You all want it done, don't you? There is 1 week left to go of this window. Literally 1 week. Tuesday, the 1st of September, 7 p.m. It slams shut. You want players in now. I mean, City versus Palace, that's Friday night. So you're going to have players in and registered for sort of Thursday if they're going to play in that. The rest of the Premier League, sort of Friday noon. And we mean everything done. International clearance. We're not going to get into Brexit or anything like that, but fees signed, registered, paperwork, all the stuff that lawyers get paid a fortune for will all need to be done. Will it? That is the big question. It honestly feels as though it's going to be a big end to the window. I suspect you are going to be seeing for a lot of clubs yellow ties. We're going to be using the phrase market opportunities. Even things like these ones that keep coming up. I mean, Nicolas Jackson, now linked with a 65 million package to Aston Villa, but will they pay that? Would it surprise you if he ended up on a loan or something like that elsewhere? Josh Achapong played last night, but he's been linked away. Every club has got plenty of incomings and plenty of potential exits they're being linked with. I think it's going to be an absolutely insane end to the window. Oh, and in between that, and people have mentioned other ones, yeah, of course, like Delap to Forest. That's one they're looking at. There's Premier League games, isn't there? Match week 2, just in case anyone's unsure who their team's got. Some interesting fixtures. There really is, as we say. Friday night, Palace City. Saturday morning, Liverpool, Forest. Bournemouth, Everton. Coventry, Hull, the 3 o'clocks. And what an interesting game that is. Spurs, Newcastle. at Spurs Stadium, 5:30. Super Sundays, Chelsea-Brighton, Leeds-Brentford, Sunderland-Fulham, 2:00. It's a hell of a way to end the weekend again. United-Ipswich, 4:30. And on Monday night, the champions Arsenal travel to Aston Villa, who could have any number of players incoming before they're in any number of positions. If you like your transfer dopamine hits, you've got a week of it, people. Premier League fans, we shall see what all this brings. Okay? Tuesday, the 25th of August. 1 week left to go of the window. That was an EPL Index news round. Enjoy your evenings.